I want to make the best language learning apps ever. So 2 years ago, I entered NCMAG, an engineer school specialized in applied mathematics and computer science. So of course, I learned a lot about engineer and computer, but also in NCMAG for the first semester, I had to choose between learning some boring economics or learning a new language. And so that's why I started to learn Japanese because I just love Japan so much. And for me, learning Japanese was like a challenge. I just wanted to know how hard it was to learn a new language. And so that's why I downloaded a few language learning apps on my phone. Like I tried Duolingo at first, but first of all, if you don't want to pay, you have to watch a lot of ads on the Duolingo. And also, Duolingo looked more like a video games than a language app. So I mean that when I used Duolingo for the first few days, I learned a lot about Japanese. But then I started to use Duolingo only to keep my daily streak and not for learning actual Japanese. And so that's why I stopped to use Duolingo and I downloaded Anki instead. So Anki is a free and open source apps and it is really good to learn Japanese, but it's mainly good to learn vocabulary. If you want to learn specific words, using Anki is really good and will help you a lot. But the problem is when you want to learn a new language, learning a few words is not enough. You also need to learn sentences, a bit of grammar, and mainly if you want to be good at the language, you need to just keep listening and listening again and again to people speaking in that language. And that's how I also learned English. I'm French, but since on YouTube I just kept watching a lot of different video in English, like for example video from Mr. Beast. After a few years, I now can understand any video in English. So Duolingo was not good enough, Anki is not good enough. So last year I started to make my own language learning apps. And I first making that project was more like a way for me to learn a few stuff I didn't learn at school. So for example, I learned how to make a layered architecture. So on my apps, on top there is a UI, the user interface, that receives the user input and that draw on the screen everything that the user see. And also on the bottom layer, there is a database that save all the user data on your phone or on your computer. Then there is a domain. So the domain is the layer that do all the calculations. So for example, the space repetition system, the learning algorithm is on the domain. And in the middle, there is the application layer or the controller. So the controller just linked every layer together so the app actually work correctly. But now I actually want to finish that project. So starting from today, I will upload a weekly update for that project and I will not stop until I have a working app. So that's the first goal, having an app that actually works, not something really complex. So maybe at first it will look more like a cheap copy of Anki. Then my second goal is to upgrade that app or keep adding more essential features on that app. And I will continue as long as I can because my goal is really to make the best language learning app as possible. So that's why I made this channel. So if you are interested, if you want to see those updates, or if you want to know how that project works, just subscribe or go to my GitHub because that project is of course open source. So you can look at the code or look at all the documentation I wrote that explain how everything works. And so see you next week.